Cassica gave her a grin to show she was only half serious. Then she slipped away and headed over toward Card. Shiara felt a faint sense of abandonment, as she always did when Cassica left her for someone else. It had been that way since she could remember. So normal, she barely noticed it anymore. Wherever Cassica was, that was where it was happening. Her restless energy was addictive. When she departed, it was like a light had burned out somewhere nearby. Shiara wandered back toward her daddy, awkwardly fielding congratulations as she went. Half the town had come to the cookout. There was greasy-haired Edison Rip, selling hooch to the grown-ups from a barrel in his cart. There was scrawny Nanami, surrounded by her brood of daughters, sitting in her wheelchair like it was a throne. There was Johns Weston and his idiot brother Cled, who didn't do much else but laugh since he got a brain bug as a Babbitt, but was well liked for all that. And there was a stranger. A man she didn't know, which was something unusual in Coppermouth. He was narrow-shouldered, with slicked back hair, and he wore a suit even in the heat. There was a drink in his hand, and he was laughing with Bonesy Bryce, as if they'd known each other forever. But she noticed he scanned the crowd constantly, his mind on things other than Bonesy's dirty jokes. Janny Thump swept her up in a surprising and unwelcome hug. The woman had never given her the time of day before, but suddenly she was all smiles. It made Shiara momentarily angry. Did Janny think she couldn't tell the difference between people who were genuinely happy for her and people who just wanted to share a glory they had no part of? She managed a passable thank you and pulled herself free, but by the time she'd lost sight of the stranger. "Here she is," said Blaine, enfolding her in one massive arm. "My little socket jockey." She felt a flood of pleasure at that. His affection was given easily, but his approval had to be fought for. Shiara was the last of 5, and there'd never been much time for the youngest, with Patton running amok and 3 other brothers before her. There was even less after Cassica's mom died, and the family took her in. Most of Shiara's childhood had been spent quietly attempting to impress her daddy, who usually had his hands too full to notice. Most of her brothers were gone now, dead or moved away. Only Creek still hanging about the auto shop these days. But habits learned in childhood set fast. It was her daddy's good opinion she valued over all others. "Can I salvage the camshaft out of that old Jake Lee you've got up on bricks?" she asked. "I need to patch up Maisie." "That old thing," he roared, flipping another slab of goat meat. "I've got a consignment in new from Hawker Corp. Take one of them instead." "All right, I will," she replied with a smile, because that was what she'd hoped he'd say. Blaine's generosity depended on his mood. Getting something out of him was a matter of tactics and timing, like racing. "Did a good job out there, keeping enough back to take on that jump." He shook his head. "How'd you ever work out the ratios? Fuel weight, tire wear, engine stress? Couldn't keep it all in my head. You've got a gift, Shiara. You do." "Thanks, Daddy," she said. She let him carry on believing they'd planned the jump from the start. Safer that way. He didn't know Cassica like she did. She looked out over the road that ran past the point, to where an enormous billboard presided over the cookout, displaying a poster bleached by years of sun. It had been there since she could remember. Familiar as family. That handsome, attractively lined face. The wicked smile that promised sass and seduction. The dude bottle raised to the town below. "Goodbye to the dry," said the shout line. "Rudder by Lakeen, drinks Faz." There wasn't a kid in Coppermouth who didn't know that face intimately.